Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video, which is part 1 of our survey of World War II related structures on Ap Lei Chau, an island just to the south of Aberdeen, Hong Kong. In the run-up to World War II, a defense scheme for Hong Kong was written and implemented. Ap Lei Chau had an anti-aircraft searchlight, a coastal artillery searchlight, a coastal battery, 2 pillboxes equipped with machine guns, and a shelter. Structures and personnel posts were connected to headquarters in Admiralty through the use of field telephones and fixed lines. The purpose of the defenses was to defend against an attack from the south on the dockyard at Aberdeen. Many of the structures are easily visible in aerial photographs, at least until the 1960s, when the Ap Lei Chau power station was constructed. In this 1963 photo, we can see the probable engine room of the AASL, and in this 1949 photo, these are probably the rooftops of the 3 main structures of the first aid shelter. Due to the general lack of housing in Hong Kong, these structures would have been used as valuable shelters by squatter or immigrant families after the war. First, let's start with the AASL. The path leading up to what was the peak of a 50-foot hill is now a paved road, with the engine room demolished and the land used for either more road or this part of the local shopping mall. Next, let's take a look at Pillbox 11. The Hong Kong Baptist University's interactive Battle of Hong Kong map puts this at what today is a busy intersection before entering the South Horizons housing estate, just across from the fire station. But in 1941, this road was a path leading down to a beach, from which an invading force could have established a beachhead. The pillbox would have defended against any attempt to take out the coastal battery further up the southern hill. Today, the most likely candidate for the location of Pillbox 11 is the Ap Lei Chau Bridge Road playground. The site is located next to a reservoir service road that in 1941 would have been a path up to Aberdeen Battery. However, depending on which source you use, there may be another possible location for Pillbox 11. Up until the 1980s and the construction of Lei Tung Estate, Lei Chau Road, and yes, it's written as Li in English, even though it's the exact same character, Lei, in Lei Tung, was a path coming up from the fishing village of Ap Lei Chau and continuing south through the pass between the hills. According to the Hong Kong Defense Scheme, Pillbox 11 was to be constructed at coordinates 185, 496. By plotting this out on the 1937 Hong Kong Defense Scheme map, which I encourage you to go take a look at the HK Map site, Pillbox 11 should have been located at the 50-foot ridgeline near Lei Chau Path. Now, there are several plausible explanations for this. One is that the PB was originally planned to be here, as it would overlook the fishing village and any boats attempting to land at the existing docks, but was actually built further west to guard the beach. In the post-war period, this area had many small squatter buildings. Perhaps they grew up around the PB, only to be demolished together when road construction and slope work commenced for Lei Tung Estate. Of course, it might just also be that I'm bad at reading maps. Third on our list today is Pillbox 10. With 3 embrasures, this pillbox would have overlooked Aberdeen Harbour and provided more than adequate defense against any invader trying to offload troops and scale the cliffs. The pillbox probably survived until the construction of Ap Lei Chau Estate in 1980, with Lei Moon House now standing in its stead. Of course, I have saved the best for last. Between the 2 pillboxes, along this path leading down from Ap Lei Chau Estate to the Wind Tower Park, stands the Aberdeen Island First Aid Post. Normally staffed by Air Raid Precaution or St. John Ambulance volunteers, these shelters contained medical supplies and were where soldiers had hot meals delivered to. Prominent markings of diagonal white stripes on a red cross, similar to the modern Caritas logo, served to clearly identify the building as an aid station under the 1929 Geneva Conventions. This is still visible if you look closely, although the red paint has long faded away. The metal frames of the doors and windows were usually ripped out and sold for scrap. The empty frames were usually sealed with concrete by the government to prevent further opportunistic use. Walking along the top of the shelter, the original air vent is visible, but seems like it may have been repurposed somehow. I doubt a bright red marking on the top signaling to anyone walking by would be a tactical advantage. There is a lot of debris strewn around the site. Although a sweep with the metal detector might reveal something interesting, there are several oblong stones with numbers carved into them. These are paupers' grave markers, and it's sad to see them just abandoned like this. As I was about to leave the site, I noticed something interesting. This concrete cube has been repurposed into a local shrine, but the color of the concrete, size, shape, and location suggest that it might be a water tank built to service the shelter and nearby pillboxes. Similar water tanks can be found in remote sites near wartime defense structures, or it might be the work of a really energetic priest of Guan Yu. To sum up, Ap Lei Chau had 4 defense structures along the northern shore, of which the first aid station still exists, which is fenced off and hidden in plain sight next to a heavily traversed paved footpath. This is the end of Part 1. For Part 2, we will go to the southern shore and look for the Coastal Searchlight and Aberdeen Battery. If you enjoyed this video, please consider flicking the like and subscribe buttons. Special thanks to my supporters Tripperhead and Telcontar. You give me the encouragement to get out there and get material to grow the channel. Bye!